Hey Charles, how you doing? I was just reading uh, your written rationale here in from your post, not your actual Word doc, but just from your post. And I'm thinking of something when I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking that this is really smart that you're actually taking your ideas and mixing them. And you heard me comment on that a few times last week, where I said to many students that, you know what, your answer might lie in your sketches and it might not. It could possibly be a combination of sketches. It could possibly be something that another idea that springboards off developing one of your sketches. So again, it's really important to understand that sketch stage doesn't always, nor is it intended to produce a solution. It is most definitely, though, a tool and an avenue for springboarding ideas. So that's fantastic. Now, that's not to say that your final solution can't come from sketches. It certainly can, absolutely. But in the sketch stage, I think it's the best approach is to just keep on just keep on telling yourself and just understand that this sketch stage is meant to generate ideas, as you have, and you do understand that clearly, as I can see through your writing. Let's go and jump to your written rationale, describing your decisions. Okay, all is good here. You're describing color. You're describing. That's great, and then the relevance here is that you're, as a designer, you're going to be asked to rationalize your decisions and your actual work. So to be able to talk about color and typeface and type choice and composition techniques, and to be able to talk about them and give your reasoning behind the decisions that you made is every bit as important to the design process as the visual outcome. So really definitely keep that in mind. All right, let's jump right over to the work. I'll tell you what, I think that this is a good solution. I do. I think one of the things that I'm seeing in this particular solution, though, is I want to ask you a question. And right now we're looking at this in a PDF. So I'm going to zoom in here, and I want you to see what happens when we zoom in. See how pixelated these are? My question is this: did you create this in Photoshop? And if you did, you don't want to do that. You don't want to create logos in Photoshop. You want to use Illustrator, and the reason being is because Illustrator is resolution independent. Photoshop is resolution dependent, meaning that if you resize the work, if you have a logo that you've created in Photoshop, you're going to get this pixelization. I'm not real sure. I'm not saying that's what you did. I'm just saying if you did, you want to definitely revisit that decision and create your logos always using Illustrator. The logo itself, I think, is effective. This is good right here. I think this is very good. I think one of the things, though, that is happening is there's too much happening in the logo right now. I think this is plenty. You don't need both. You have the satellite dish for the T and network, and then you also have the kind of satellite signal that's emulating from the word network. I think this is more effective of the two. I would go ahead and replace that. Either that, or if you feel that the satellite dish doubling as the T is more effective, certainly do that, but remove this. What I'm saying is one or the other will work, but both is just adding too much. There's an old saying in design called, well, it's actually not specific to design, but there's something called Hicks' Law. And Hicks' Law states that every time you add something, you're taking away from what's already there. And I think that we can see that. I think the impact of this is reduced when you add it in conjunction with this satellite dish, simply because the viewer now has two things to concentrate on instead of one. My recommendation is to stick with this and to just replace that with the T from the impact typeface. One thing I would recommend here is it seems like these are just a little bit too thick, these strokes right here. I would thin these out a little bit. I understand that you want them to thick so that they can hold up and stand up visually to the thickness of the impact typeface. However, I think these are just a little bit too thick. When I say a little bit, I'm talking a matter of a few pixels, not anything more drastic than that. I do like the relationship of these thick kind of radio waves or satellite waves from the visual relationship that it creates with the thickness of the impact typeface. However, as I said, I just think that's a little bit too thick right there, so I thin those out. Other than that, fantastic job. Really, really good work. All right. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to clarify. Thanks.